Video is gonna be pretty random, but I just wanted to look at the entire toy line for this movie because it really is something, isn't it? Right here I have the Playmates 6-inch basic evolved Godzilla. He's a pretty decent figure. He's got nice paint where it is. His spikes are a bit weird. It's translucent and translates into this weird salmon color. Something a lot of people have pointed out. Did I mention this video was partially inspired by Monster Island Buddies video on this? Ugh. Anyways, he's got good articulation in the jaw, kind of in the head. Both the arms move up and down. Get a 360. And then the legs move up and back that far. Ranges. And a ball joint. A very squeaky one at that. A decent figure, I guess. You just pop his mouth open. You can shove the atomic breath piece in there. Has this weird little side splash spill looking thing. I don't know what that's all about, but it's there, I guess. Yeah, that's really it for Godzilla. Like I said, this video is kind of random. I just kind of wanted to look at all these toys. I didn't want to make an individual review on all of them like I did for Tiamat, so we're just looking at all of them in this video. Here's Kong. I gotta say, I quite like Kong. He has some real weight to him. Like listen to that. If you have this figure, you know how heavy he is. His accessory is a little upgraded Hollow Earth aerial vehicle, or HEAV for short. And he can hold it in his hands, I guess. Yeah. I guess doesn't really serve a purpose. Could have given him an axe. His head moves side to side, kind of moves up and down, but not by a lot. The arms extend outward and rotate, and the elbows are on a hinge. This wrist does not move, however, it does move on his other side. Of course, can't even tell. The waist looks like it has articulation, but I think it's just the way the figure's put together. Anyways, the legs hinge up and down and rotate. The knees are just on one hinge. They don't rotate at all. Nothing at the feet either. He's a pretty good toy. He's got the same amount of articulation as the last wave, except his Beast Glove arm doesn't move. In fact, I have a Godzilla vs. Kong figure right here. I have a bunch of Godzilla vs. Kong stuff in storage. If I ever get that out, I'll definitely make a video like this one. Yeah, the same articulation. You'll notice that in this wave, they did remove the battle damage feature, except for the only re-released figure being this Godzilla. It's essentially the same as the last wave. His tail seems to be the Battle Roar / supercharged, and his spikes are different. Other than that, essentially the same, like I said. But his accessory, on the other hand, is a whole new molded piece for the atomic breath. Yeah, kinda strange that they went through all the effort to make a new piece for the atomic breath. I don't know. A lot of people were complaining about this. I don't know why. It's not big of a deal, honestly. I'm making it more big of a deal as I try to find the Godzilla vs. Kong equivalent of the atomic breath because I did not prepare for this video at all. Here's a comparison of the Godzilla vs. Kong equivalent. Just like the last wave, you just shove it in his mouth. It's a bit harder to do than the evolved version, but it's not too big of a deal. Like I said, this is the only figure that has battle damage. I custom painted mine, so it does not look like that. And if you were to get this figure at retail, the bones would look the same color as the red on his chest. Alright, let's get into the good stuff. Right here's the main villain of the movie, Scar King. Like I said, I did customize some of these a bit. He has a little clay Shimo crystal right there. But he's a pretty good figure. He has the same articulation as Kong, but with a ball joint in the torso. Why they didn't give Kong this in the first place, I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask the people that sat in meetings about it. He also has added movement in his other wrist. Take that, Kong! Other than that, he's a good figure. Although his what do I even call this? Bone spine? This looks like he became a predator and ripped the skull and spine out of a victim. What? I thought this was a PG-13 movie. Anyways, he can hold it like a whip. It just questions a PG-13 rating more. Or is this movie PG? I forgot, honestly, even though I just watched it last night in preparation for this. It moves around a bit, although I will show you a way better version of the whip feature later. Right here is an eBay scalper's dream. The 6-inch Shimo figure has been scalped like crazy. Both versions at that. I will get to that later, don't worry. She's pretty good. I do have the giant Shimo figure I will compare to later in the video, but she has good articulation. Her feet move, her back legs only move up and down. The front legs can extend outward though. And her head moves up and down, and it swivels. And the jaw, oh my goodness, it opens. This looks like Shimo just saw the most jaw-dropping, emotional, and outright weird movie of the century. No, it looks like she just watched Deadpool and Wolverine, actually. Rawr, rawr, I shouldn't have taken my kids to this. Rawr, rawr. What am I doing with my life? Her final point of articulation is the ball joint at the tail. I forgot to mention this with the Godzillas, but it's not big of a deal. Out of the box, these guys have their tails disattached. So if you're a child that can't lift a pound of milk, you're gonna have to get your mommy to get the tails on. Her accessory is just like Godzilla's. It's her frostbite blast. You can shove it in the hole in your mouth. Boom. There you go. Again, it has that little splash looking effect, but I honestly don't mind it, unlike some other people. Okay. Enough fun. Let's get into the actual most articulated figure in this entire line. Yeah, that's right. This little tiny monkey has so much articulation. It is actually kind of stupid. Here, I'll show you. Right here is the Suko and Doug 2-pack. Doug, right here, he's just black. Okay? I know it's gonna become a meme. I do not care. Anyways, his articulation is very, very limited. His head can move side to side. It can almost go around it can go around his entire body. So now you can recreate the Addams Family scene where Uncle Fester rips his neck around. And his legs also move up. They can get a full 360. These ones have a bit more of an angle, but nothing too much. And his tail is on a ball joint. Suko, on the other hand, is very articulated. His head can move side to side, just like Kong and Scar King, except it's on a different mechanism. It can kind of move up and down, although it's very subtle. His arms extend and swivel, his elbows are on a hinge, and his wrists move, just like Kong and Scar King. Like Scar King, he has movement at the waist, except it's only a swivel this time around. And weirdly, look at his knees and her little legs. As you can see, so far it's the same articulation as Kong and Scar King, but the ankles swivel as well. Why does he have the most articulation in the entire line? I don't know. I already said this. Don't ask me. Ask the people who had meetings about this. Alright? Fair? Fair enough? Fair. The only accessory in this 2-pack is this little rock that Suko can hold. You can do it like, you can make him throw it, or, I don't know, step on it, whack someone with it, I don't know. This doesn't really serve a purpose, except just a placeholder. I mean, I guess it could be used as a little prop, but, I don't know. It just doesn't really look like anything, I guess. Although, I do love these figures for what they are. They're pretty good. And a nice addition to the Playmates cast. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Scar King. I am really unfunny, aren't I? Repaints of all the 4 main figures except for Suko and Doug came in 4-packs. I have them right here. These 4-packs actually have a lot to offer. The Godzilla and Shima one right here has some pretty good repaints of both figures. The Godzilla is essentially just a repaint of the other figure with some pretty nice blues. Certain angles can get him to look really well done. Although, I did have to kind of snip the side splash look, because it did chip off some of the paint on his jaw. That's an oversight on Playmate's part, okay? That's not me. I do like the blue hues, however, and I've heard some people say that they prefer it over the regular version. I like the blue hues, but I don't think it's something that should be permanent. I like the blue hues, but I don't think it's something that should be permanent. Kind of like the pink in Evolved Godzilla's design itself. Here's the Shima figure, and just so you know, the figure does not look like this. My Shima figure had very, very little blue applied except for the spikes, so I decided to go and customize it myself. Could have done better right here, but I think the legs and bottom look pretty good. Also, I'm not going over the articulation for these guys because they're the exact same as their normal counterparts. Both of these 2-pack sets will come with cardboard dioramas. This one has some blue crystals and a giant rib cage. Seriously, look at this. This is ginormous. This could be a home for Godzilla. Anyways, it looks like you're supposed to set up a Hollow Earth battle scene. And both sets also come with this backdrop. It's pretty good. Although, the way my background is set up, it doesn't really give the full effect, does it? Okay, moving on to the Kong and Scar King 2-pack. Again, these guys are repaints, so I will not be re-going over their articulation. The Kong figure, however, is, I don't know. I don't really like the paint variant. I mean, it's good application, but the colors just don't look right. Also, right there, you can see his little scar, so take that, MIB. Scar King, however, I like much more than the 6-inch counterpart. Although, I do like the other 6-inch ones, Whiplash, more, so I will continually swap them out. My Scar King's leg, or more specifically foot, is all crooked. I don't know why. He can stand fine, but it's just weird. Also, the waist is a lot more squeaky than the other one. Very satisfying to move, however. This time around, the diorama are these lava waterfalls. They look pretty nice. And we got some purple crystals instead of some blue ones. I gotta say, combining the two sets is really good, but I cannot do it with the space I have on this. But they do look real nice together. And the figures with these diorama sets are especially good looking. In fact, I could see someone only buying the diorama sets and not the single packs. That's how good these are. Okay, here's an interesting one. The Battle Roar Kong. This guy, well, you probably know how the Battle Roars work. On the back, they have a little button, and when you press it, their mouth opens and they roar. I do not have the Godzilla Shimo or Scar King one of these, but the Kong one looks pretty dang good. I did used to have the Godzilla vs. Kong variant of him, but I mutilated and tore his face off. So this is pretty good. Looks better than that old one, actually. This guy also has very different articulation. The arms still move up and down, but they don't rotate outwards. The wrists still move, but again, nothing much else besides the legs. And they move in a really weird way, so what's the point of even having articulation for them? Also, these guys are more or less in the 7-inch range rather than the 6-inch range that the regular ones are. So, he is definitely much, much taller, especially with the hand. Okay, getting into the last figure of Wave 1 for the Playmate stuff. This is the giant Scar King. He is a giant. Look at him compared to little old Godzilla. It's like twice the size, almost. This is essentially just a blown up version of the regular Scar King. Except the fact that he has screw holes on the back, along with one in his butt crack. And his head is now on a ball joint, although mine is extremely loose. And the whiplash mechanism, well, as you can see, there's a bit more detail on the teeth there. It is also way, way harder to get off. But when you do get it off, it definitely works way better than the 6-inch version. Look at this. Gotta give it some force, but definitely works better. I say this is a pretty good figure. The white on my figure is a bit yellowed out, but not too big of a deal. Okay, I lied about that being the last one for the Playmate stuff for Wave 1. This is the Godzilla Titan Roar mask. If you've seen my most recent video, you'll know that this is the mask that I will wear. It opens, and it would make noise, but I took the batteries out. But it just makes default Godzilla roar noises. The mask has a strap with a bit of Velcro and some tightening. There's a bit of cushioning, and let me tell you, it is very, very hard to see out of this thing. Look at this. Ugh. Hey, MIB, you know how you said this is what that other mask is what you looked like in 4K? Yeah, I just found the next best thing. Yeah, it fits fine. Although I'm not looking up or opening it because I don't want to accidentally face reveal. 1 million subs and I'll face reveal, okay? If we can get there. But yeah, it's a good mask, I guess. I don't know, there's not really much else to say now. Alright, the actual last thing we're going to talk about before getting into the Wave 2 of the Playmate stuff. In which, these are not by Playmates, these are by Hiya Toys. These little die-cast keychains of Godzilla and Shimo. There are Kong and Scar King ones of these, but I don't have them. But you can also get all 4 of them in a big 4-pack if you want. They are pretty dang detailed, I gotta say. Look at Godzilla's eye here, and look at it on this side. The pink is very vibrant on him, and it has actual better paint than the Playmates one. And here's Shimo. She has this really nice glossy pink finish, you can kind of see. Also, these aren't just all die cast. They are also mostly rubber in some parts. Probably so that kids don't accidentally impale themselves when they sit on the bus. Alright, now let's get into some of the good stuff. Right here, I don't really know if she is part of Wave 2 or not, because she was kind of released in between. Like, there was, like, Wave 1, we waited, like, a month or two, and then she showed up, and then another month or two later, Wave 2 showed up. So, I don't really know what to count her as, but this is the giant Shimo. She is way better of an upgrade than the regular 6-inch one. There is way more detail on the side right here. In fact, it's a whole new sculpt. The feet are hollowed out, and the toenails do not come like this. I customly did that myself. And I did cover up the screw holes with some clay right here. And the head, the eyes and nose I did by myself, but the head is now one seamless piece. It's just way better, okay? And the Frostbite Blast can kind of fit in there, if I can find it. Oh god. Okay. You can wedge it in there. It's short, but it gets the job done. I am not interested in getting the giant Godzilla or Kong figures. If I were to, but I do want to get the Mega Punching Kong and the Jada Toys RC Godzilla. Jada Toys is the same company who made those keychains I just talked about. But yeah, that's really all there is to this Shimo. Well, we can compare. Look, more detail. Like I said, the head is now one seamless piece. The feet, yeah. I feel like a combination of the side detail of this and the bottom detail of this would be just the perfect sculpt. Probably look better than the SH Monster Arts. Now we can have one big happy Shimo family. And Mrs. Face Paint over here. Alright, this is the last figure, but I'm not gonna gloss too much on this one, considering that I made a whole review on this figure. It's the Tiamat submarine. And it is probably the only actual Wave 2 figure that I have. Anyways, she has this pretty nice paint application of this, like, smooth, like, fade from purple and teal. And a lot of ball joints. That's what most of this figure consists of. And her submarine accessory is just black. Also, I did forget to mention that the Kong in the 2-pack came with another upgraded heave, or whatever they're called. But, yeah, that's really all there is to say about this one. I don't know. Again, if you want more detail on this specific figure, I will have a review on my channel. Yeah, it'll be linked in the description, I guess. Yeah, that is the Godzilla Kong the New Empire toy line. I do want to get quite a bit of other ones, and if you guys want an update video if I do get those, please let me know. But that's really all there is to say. This is just a fun video I wanted to make. Just talking about all the different ones in the line. So, yeah. Bye. See you next time. Goji out.